Hi everyone, good afternoon. It's good to be back again with all of you today, Saturday, the 14th day of the month of September 2019. Yes, I am back again this afternoon, and I know for a fact that a handful of you guys out there are still there. Some who are on the other side of the world, perhaps, are still sleeping. It is Saturday. We all understand. Those who probably must have really worked extremely hard over the course of the entire week probably will perhaps put some rest in today. Okay, now we're going to do today's presentation a little bit different. Let's see. Oh, Jerry is in. Good morning. Yes, you are probably on the other side of the pond. Okay, nice. So whilst we wait for other people to tune in, because it's going to be a little bit explosive today, and we are going to do today's presentation a little bit different. It's going to be different because I will be turning this same camera round 180 degrees to the other side so that it is projected directly onto the screen and you guys can actually see what is on the screen, so that I'm not really talking at the top of my head. Now, if anyone wants to share it, because what we want to talk about today, Saturday, the 14th day of September 2019 at exactly 13:07. That is 7 minutes past 1 o'clock London time. It's going to be brutal. I can assure you, it's going to be extremely brutal. It's going to be a bit deeper, and at the same time, we are just merely investigating an issue. And because we are investigating those issues, we need to be straight. We need to present ourselves with superb evidence. We need to compare events. We need to look back at what happened before, where we are today based on what happened yesterday, and then, irrespective of whether you are Biafran, Oduduwa, or Arewa, you claim to be Nigerians, it's now up to you. I sincerely hope that this show will not be flagged along the line because it is extremely brutal. And what we want to talk about is hashtag deathbed to hero. Does that ring any bell? The first topic on the agenda is hashtag deathbed to hero. And then we're going to talk about the agony, hashtag the agony of Nigeria, because we are particularly looking at somebody that was incapacitated and was on a deathbed. Whether he gave up the ghost, I repeat, whether that person gave up the ghost and then Nigerians were fooled. And suddenly, from deathbed, this same dead corpse then suddenly became the hero of that fraudulent contraption called Nigeria. So, hashtag deathbed to hero, hashtag the agony of Nigeria. And then subsequently, are we really talking about the fact that deathbed created an agony for that contraption called Nigeria? And if so, are we really looking at crisis in that contraption? Godwin Blessing, Tari Roberts, Ayogundimo, thank you. That is what we're looking. So guys, I'll be tilting the camera 180 degrees because I've got some slides to show you all. Not that I'll be talking at the top of my head, because we have to be sincere with ourselves. We have to be equally objective. We have to look deeper than what a lot of people were unable to see. Let's put it that way. Yeah, I can see Giddy TV. I can see Sen Larry Ukbola as well, who is joining us from the United States. Deathbed to hero. This personality that was confined to the deathbed, who then subsequently became a hero, that many of those political elites in that contraption called Nigeria then rallied around him. The rally, knowing fully well that the man, the person in question, was gone. And suddenly he became a hero. Is it an immoral act or a fraud? So we're looking at two words: immorality or fraud, from deathbed to hero. We will explore those two words, immorality or fraud. We will look a bit deep, and then we will consult the authoritative source of our language, of English language, to see where things are at the moment. Look, guys, it's going to be very, very hot. It's going to be very brutal, and it's going to be very mean, because we are looking at issues that we have to dig deeper and perhaps open up some people's eyes into seeing things they were unable to see before. Deathbed to hero, immorality or fraud. I'm going to tilt the camera around to face my workstation, okay? And I'm going to do that, and I'll grab myself a seat as well, because we're going to go through, I think at the top of my head, about 16 slides that I have made up. So it is better for us to actually look directly onto the screen, and you guys can see exactly what I am seeing, and the whole world will be able to see exactly what I am seeing and the way you guys are seeing it. Does that make any sense to you? I'm confusing you. No, I'm not going to confuse you. Okay, now listen, I'm going to tilt the camera round this way. Just wait a minute, right? So I'll tilt it this way, and you can see all the lighting, and I'll just put it that way. Now, you are looking at the screen, and I am going to grab myself a seat. I want you to please lend me your ears. I want you to please open up your ears. Free your mind. If you want to grab yourself something to drink, maybe you better do so, and some snacks. It's going to be brutal. See, deathbed to hero, immorality or fraud. Let's look at that. The next line, I said, the different faces of a tyrant and military dictator. Now, underscore immorality, I want you to please check that very well. Look at that very well. Let me get the, yeah, you see, you can see the cursor and the magnifier. Yeah. Immorality or fraud. I want you to please look at those two words, because we will expatiate more and we will get to know exactly what immorality, which is rooted to being immoral, or fraud. Deathbed to hero. The different faces of a tyrant and military dictator who assumed to be a democrat in a cursed nation. You remember yesterday I made a show and I came up and I questioned the fact that perhaps is Nigeria a cursed nation, and I gave you guys some instances. So these different faces that we are talking about of that tyrant and military dictator assumed he happens to be a Democrat, but is he truly a Democrat in a cursed nation? The agony of Nigeria in crisis time. Veronica George, Prince Enolai Kusawe, Ola Univ. Good afternoon to you from London. The agony of Nigeria in crisis time. I told you guys to underscore immorality and fraud as per the top slide here. And don't forget, we're talking about deathbed to hero. I'm going to open your eyes into seeing things that you've never seen before. Okay, now let's look at the two words. First, we will look at what immorality is all about, because I told you to underscore immorality and fraud. Now, this is the dictionary.com, and obviously, let's see, I'm going to blow out this just a little bit so that you guys can see exactly what is contained. Okay, now you can see that immorality is a noun or plural. So immoral quality. So immorality, the stuff immorality that I told you guys to underscore is rooted to an act of being immoral quality. And being immoral is rooted to your character or your conduct. And being immoral means you are wicked. So when somebody is immoral, that person is a wicked soul, and that person is evil. That's why I said we're going a bit deeper. And I want you to see things that you've never seen before, that I see differently, because I see things differently from the way normal people don't see things. I see things differently because people assume that I am not normal. And that's why I see things differently. And that's why I get into trouble with a lot of people, which doesn't bother me. So, immoral, wickedness, being evil. And then number two, it could be being immoral could be equated to sexual misconduct. But let us replace that sexual misconduct, let's put in front of that sexual political misconduct. So being immoral, an act of wickedness, an act of being evil, and equally rooted to political misconduct. Are we talking about somebody here? Okay, let's go back again. Let me view. Okay, let's do this. View actual page. Okay, let me zoom it so that we can see it clearly. Yeah, you see, immorality. What about immoral? Let's look at immoral. Again, I'll blow it out. Immoral is an adjective. And being immoral means violating moral principles. Now, picture your country, your geographical contraption, violating moral principles. Those who are immoral, they've practically violated moral principles or ethics, and they're not conforming to the patterns of conduct usually accepted or established as consistent with principles of personal and social ethics. You see, I mentioned that word ethics earlier on. It's going to get clearer. Grace Emiogolo, good afternoon. King Solomon, good afternoon. Nelson Adeshabon, good afternoon. Omolara Sunshine, good afternoon to you all. Okay, let's go back again. Now, we now go into the second bit, which is fraud, because I told you guys to underscore both immoral and immorality and fraud. Now, what have we got under fraud? Fraud is a noun. Fraud is deceit, trickery, sharp practice, or breach of confidence, perpetrated for profit or to gain some unfair or dishonest advantage. Are we not talking about Nigeria here? That your politicians are deceitful, they've tricked you, they've got sharp practice of deceiving you, they've breached your confidence because you trusted them, but because they've bastardized you, Nigerians, for such a long time, Nigerians were unable to think on their feet. So they've perpetrated their illicit trade through fraud for profit to gain unfair advantage over many Nigerians. It's going to get worse. Now, let's look at what fraudster is all about, because that word fraud is rooted to fraudsters. Fraudster simply means somebody who is a swindler. So that means all your rogue politicians are all swindlers. Are they really swindlers? Yes, they are. They've swindled Nigeria of their resources. They've swindled Nigeria of its dignity. They've swindled Nigeria of better governance. They've swindled Nigeria of social amenities that a state ought to provide for its citizens, at least to live a comfortable life. Let's look at the next one. Now, deathbed. Deathbed to hero, immorality or fraud. Let's look at these pictures. You see, to my left, to the left here, you can see the picture of, let's blow this out so that you guys can see that. Yeah, you can see this picture in the middle here is your Muhammadu Buhari in his early days in the Nigerian military. You can see him there in the middle. You can see him. There's no doubt about this. We are going a bit deeper and deeper now. And it's going to, I will assure you guys, it's going to get worse. So that was him. Remember, it is deathbed to hero, immorality or fraud. Next, let's look at him here. Again, we can see that that is Muhammadu Buhari as at that time. And I think at the top of my head, that was his picture as the Minister of Petroleum in Nigeria. And I think that was taken in Vienna when he was Minister of Petroleum. So we can see that was him. And let's go back into the next one. Here, deathbed to hero is what we are looking at. Okay, here you can see Muhammadu Buhari here. You can see Obasanjo, his boss, as military head of state. I have a feeling this picture was taken in 1978. And there we've got the same Muhammadu Buhari also in military uniform. And I think if we can peep through his rank here, I think he was a brigadier. Yes, that was a brigadier because that is the eagle at the top and the 3 stars behind. So brigadier. He was a brigadier. So that was him. There's no question about that. We can't question that. Yeah, that was the true man at the time. Okay, let's go back to the next one. Deathbed to hero is what we are talking about. And here, that was him when he was a military junta, a major general. That was him when he was military head of state. We can't question all these pictures, okay? That was him. He was a major general with a sword and 1 eagle. So that was him. Let's look into the next one. Deathbed to hero. Let's look at this last one under this one. Yes, that was equally him as well. Perhaps at the Tafawa Balewa race course during the Nigeria Independence Day celebration. And obviously we can, behind him there, you can see his ADC. And that was him on the parade ground at the race course. There's no question, there's no doubt about that. Okay, so deathbed to hero, immorality or fraud. Now let's go into the next one. We're still on it, deathbed to hero. Now look at this pic. Look at these pictures here. Now I deliberately got a copy of this news watch that was published as far back as 13th of March 2000. You can see the date on the news watch at that time. Okay, so I deliberately got that, and obviously that actually showed us that Buhari squandered 135 billion naira of the PTF, a mysterious disappearance of 500 million naira at the time in 20,000. That was a lot of money, but that is not an issue that we have to discuss here, but we're just looking at pictures of Muhammadu Buhari. Now, I want you to please pay particular attention to the frame here, his frame. You can see that Muhammadu Buhari has always loved the cat frame for his medication, his glasses. So he's always, which I don't see any problems in that because we've got our preferences. Yes. So he's always loved the cat frame. So look at that frame, and we'll be exploring that at some point in time. So that was him. There is no question, there is no doubt about that, because that was the news watch at the time. Now, this was equally the same man, and I told you to please pay particular attention to that frame. That was a different picture of the same Muhammadu Buhari, and he had the same frame, the same cat bone frame, which he loves so much. So that was him. We cannot question this picture of Muhammadu Buhari. Stephanie, good afternoon. For last meet, Val Ojo, Ayo Onobanjo, good afternoon to you. Yes, good afternoon to you all. It's going to be a bit deeper today because we want to look into something different. So we are talking about deathbed to hero, immorality or fraud. And you're going to see whether it is immoral or whether it is fraud. That's why we're doing it a bit differently today, guys. So that's him there. And the same frame, but you see different clothing or attire, right? The same frame, cat frame, okay? Now, that was him, the same Muhammadu Buhari again, during the PTF era, and that picture of him was taken. And again, pay particular attention to the frame, the cat frame, okay? Because I know exactly what I am talking about. So now to the next slide, okay? Let's do it this way. The next slide is here. Right, now, deathbed to hero, immorality or fraud. Thank you. I will take all your comments, guys. I want you to just open up your eyes and follow the slide and free your mind as well. Deathbed to hero, immorality or fraud. Now, here, we know this picture very well of him, and obviously that was him in 2007. You can see he's changed his cat frame to be something different, and there is the real authentic Muhammadu Buhari that we know as at that time. Now let's go into the next one. Here is another of him just prior to the 2015 elections. That was him, and you can equally still see the same frame there on his eyes. Yes, the same frame. So I've actually assembled those pictures together so that we will buttress our argument. That was Muhammadu Buhari again, with the same frame, consistent with the same frame. So we cannot dispute all this picture of Muhammadu Buhari. Now, this picture equally was taken, and I think it was actually used extensively before the 2015 general elections, and you can see his boldness. You can see the same cat frame which he loved so much, because yes, no, everyone loves the cat frame. So the man is really in love with cat frame. So yes, that is him, true, and we cannot dispute that. Again, let's look at this. Of course, you can see that that frame and that frame, they are the same. They are the same, and you cannot contest the fact that all those pictures were not Muhammadu Buhari. Now, look, I want you to please pay particular attention to his face and the way he's aged so far, because this man, don't forget, is in his late 70s, if not 80s, depending on the age they declared. So one can easily tell that yes, this his correct age, and we cannot dispute anything about that. Let's go into the next one. Now, vet bet to hero, immorality or fraud. Now, this was the picture of the group in the APC caucus that actually toppled Goodluck Ebele Jonathan at the time. Now, you can see Obasanjo in there, in the middle, when every one of this lot practically came to solicit for Obasanjo's endorsement of Muhammadu Buhari. And of course, here you can see the picture of Yemi Oshibajo. You can see Oyegun there. You can see Chief Bisia Konde. You can see Mamowora there. You can see Bola Tinubu Jagaban here. You can see Bukola Saraki behind Muhammadu Buhari there. And you can see Ibikunle Amosun there. Yeah, all of them, they all came to the Abeokuta hilltop residence of Baba Obasanjo to solicit him to endorse prior to the 2015 general elections, for him to support Muhammadu Buhari. Now, look at Muhammadu Buhari. He's still got the same frame, okay? The same cat bone frame. And you can see that he's really aged very well. One can tell, and he, considering the fact that he happens to be a very slingo person, yes, you can see he looked his proper age. So we had no problems in relations to this. Now, here is another picture below of him with OBJ, and you can see as well Oyegun there, Professor Yemi Oshibajo, the houseboy and the errand boy in Asorok, and you can see some of these guys there. Now, you can see Muhammadu Buhari, look at him with the same cat bone frame, okay? Now, you look at him very, very well, okay? Look at him very, very well. He's aged gracefully there, so it is expected, okay? Now, let's go into the next frame. Now, you will remember that in this slide, this was before he became president, and after Goodluck Ebele Jonathan was then toppled. You guys will remember that he was advised by some prophet. Muhammadu Buhari was advised by some prophets and imam for him not to go into Asorok, because Asorok was contaminated, and the mere fact that there was spiritual affliction haunting that seat of government, he was advised not to, and that he needed to cleanse the entire area within the presidential villa. And obviously that then led us into this deathbed to hero, immorality or fraud. Now, this was the 2015 swearing-in ceremony of Muhammadu Buhari, and I want you again to please pay close attention to details here. Now, that was Aisha Buhari behind the husband, and that was Muhammadu Buhari, again with the same cat bone frame. The same frame has been consistent, and here on Buhari's right hand you can see the Holy Quran on his right hand, and on his left hand there you can see the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Now, I want you to look at this picture of him, because that was him originally. He's never moved into Asorok, and after the big wrestle between Goodluck Ebele Jonathan and many of those who facilitated the transition of power between Goodluck Ebele Jonathan to Muhammadu Buhari, because Goodluck Ebele Jonathan, make no mistake, refused to relinquish power. He could be claiming he relinquished power, but it was a bit of a struggle for him. So Muhammadu Buhari had no choice. Obasanjo had no choice but to get people like Thabo Mbeki, Kofi Annan, and as well as Abdul Salam Abubakar to facilitate the smooth transition of power from Goodluck Ebele Jonathan to Muhammadu Buhari, because Muhammadu Buhari was not even sure as at 2015 whether Goodluck Ebele Jonathan will relinquish power to him. And that was why, as at that time, both Muhammadu Buhari and Nasiru El-Rufai, they've mastered their plans on how they will truncate Nigeria and bring mayhem through all those mercenaries that they imported, not knowing that Goodluck Ebele Jonathan will relinquish power. Now, he sworn the oath of office with the Holy Quran in his right hand and the Constitution of Nigeria on the left hand, which is expected. And we've got his wife, Aisha Muhammadu Buhari, behind him. The same thing actually happened to Yemi Osinbajo. Now, look at this particular one. Guys, keep dropping all your comment, because I'm just taking you through this slide because it's taking me some time to get this slide. Now, you look at this particular picture here, you can see Goodluck Ebele Jonathan and the same Muhammadu Buhari here. You see, he's got the same frame. You see, look at him, aged. He's aged. See, the campaign and the stress associated with running that campaign equally took its toll on him here. So here inside Asorok, you can see obviously this is the presidential office, and Goodluck Ebele Jonathan again handed over the Nigerian constitution to the Muhammadu Buhari that we know. And obviously you can see that that is the real Muhammadu Buhari, and we cannot dispute these facts here that he was Muhammadu Buhari. He was. Now, this was taken at the Eagle Square during the pre-ceremony before he took the oath. And you can see the outgoing president, Goodluck Jonathan, there. You can see Muhammadu Buhari, you can see Aisha Muhammadu Buhari, and you can equally see Yemi Osinbajo on the other side sitting next to Aisha Muhammadu Buhari. Now, let me blow out this. Now, you can equally see, look at Muhammadu Buhari's age, look at him, look at his physical frame, look at his cat bones frame again. That cat bones frame, yes, I can understand. It's a reaction, like myself, that is, Nigerians will call that photochromic, but we call it reactions because it reacts with how sunny the weather is, and your eyes is fully protected from the ultraviolet radiation from the sun. So here we've got the same carbon frame, and we've got the same Muhammadu Buhari here. No questions about that. Okay, and then just immediately after the swearing-in ceremony, we're going to go into this one, right? Deathbed to hero, immorality or fraud. Now, that was the historic handover of power to Muhammadu Buhari, and just immediately after that handover, again, look at this picture very well. You can see it is the same cat bone frame, and you can actually see Muhammadu Buhari's aged gracefully as well. Here, we cannot dispute and we cannot contest this. Because that is there. You can see his inner eyes as well. You can see everything in there. That you can see his eyelid. You can see his forehead with those worried lines there. You can see everything. You can see everything in here. His chin, everything rhymed. You can see, look at, you see the same mark, the black eye spot that I have got as well for somebody who works extremely hard. So that is the same cat bone frame, guys. We cannot dispute this. That was him. Okay, now let's go into this. Now, the moment he was sworn in, this official picture of him was then released, and it was actually sent round to all the Nigerian missions abroad and most offices and government parastatals across Nigeria. Then had this official picture of Muhammadu Buhari hanging on their wall. Again, look at the cat frames, the same frame that we've got up there, like this one. Yeah, it is the same cat frame that Muhammadu Buhari had here. You can see it is the same cat frame that was used just immediately after he was sworn in. It is the same frame. There's no doubt about that. You can see that. And if I probably do that, yeah, you can see that clearly. It is the same frame. So this official picture was released of him as his official photographs that will be released to the public. And if you go to the Nigeria High Commission or any of the embassies or any government parastatal, states, government houses, and the rest of it, that is the official picture you will find of Muhammadu Buhari. Now, it's now going to get a little bit interesting, and this is where we're going to go deep a little bit. Now, deathbed to hero, immorality or fraud. Now, health issues set in just immediately after Muhammadu Buhari took office. Now, make no mistakes, I indicated earlier on that pastors, imams, and even Pastor Adeboye, Father Ejika, that man who threw Jonathan out of government, deliberately told Muhammadu Buhari that there is a curse hanging on that Asorok, and Asorok, the presidential villa, needed to be cleansed. Whether that was done very successfully or not, we just don't know. Now, but suddenly when he moved in, and you know for a fact that anybody that moved into the presidential villa will have to live with the consequences, because that place is bewitched. There are loads of witchcraft activities that goes on. When Obasanjo was there, like I was told, the Babalawos, they do their own stuff. The Onisheguns, they do theirs. The Ogbonis, they've got their own beat. The churches, they've got their chapel. The mosque, they've got their own praying ground. Everyone, the Emirates, the Onifas, so everyone, they've got their sections within the presidential villa, and you know, so many spiritual activities go behind the scene. It was the same thing perhaps during Goodluck Ebele Jonathan, but that probably took a different dimension entirely. To which I can honestly confirm, and I can tell you that Dr. Ruben Abati wrote a book on that account. Now, deathbed to hero, immorality or fraud. Health issues then sets in for Muhammadu Buhari, which subsequently incapacitated him. Now, let's look at this picture of him from his official picture that was released, which is still readily available everywhere in public domain at your High Commission at number 9 Northumberland Avenue. That this picture is what you will find as his official picture up till today. Now, this picture on the right here. Now, this picture here, obviously you can see that is him at that time when that sickness is now beginning to creep into him very gradually. Obviously, like I said, it was a spiritual attack, but obviously the man was unable to help himself, and people around him were not really helping him. Now, from there, from this official picture, let's assume he was made up. Okay, all right. Now, to that sickness, that health issues is already eating into him very gradually, despite the fact that he's got prostate and some other medical conditions. So it's already creeping in here. Okay, now let's go into the next one. Now, here in this one was when he was flown to England, when his condition really deteriorated. That was when he arrived England for treatment. Okay, it's going to get a little bit worse and murky, guys. Brace yourself. Get yourselves ready. Yes, let me quickly take yes, Ahmad Adeniyi, Sean Oguns, Iluobe, Roland. I'm seeing that. Yeah, Esther Oluyide, Yomi Jibakran, Yetola Omojua, Hade Crispy, Yomi, yeah, Emeka Ofokaire, Bukola Odufadering. How are you? Just keep dropping your comments. We will treat them after the slide. Yeah, Michael Bamidele Akorede, Esther Oluyide, Sean Oguns. Yes, Prince Kevin. Bolan Michael, Babalola, Lizzie, Azu. Oh, good evening. Good evening, everyone. Yeah, let me carry on with the analysis. So here, Again, let's recap. That was his official picture that was released for the world. Perhaps a little bit of touch in makeup, and here the health issues was creeping in very gradually, but attention was not particularly paid to details on these health issues. You can compare, you can see those two together, and obviously that is him. There's no doubt about it, because if you look at the picture, if you look at his mark here, you will find it here. And obviously because that sickness is really eating very deeply into him, perhaps the combination of spiritual attack and other health related issues quickly aged him from there to there. Yeah, we understand he probably must have been touched up or make up there. Okay, so when that health issue sets in and nobody was there to help him spiritually, this was when he was flown to England. This was when he arrived in England. Okay, let's go into the next slide. Now, I said deathbed to hero, immorality or fraud. Now, here is the health issues. Now, you see, this was him on the sick bed after he was flown in. That was him. He really deteriorated, and you'll not remember Nigeria was kept in the hanging. That was his picture. There's no doubt, because this was smuggled out, perhaps taken from a very low res camera or a spy pen camera that was subsequently smuggled out. But obviously you can see he's deteriorated so fast, and that was him. You can see the shape of his mouth, you can see everything there, his baldness, obviously because the sickness ate straight into him. He's lost a chunk of his hair, and you can see the ears, you can see the nose. Let's compare. Yeah, you look at the shape of his nose in these two pictures, right? Can you see the shape of that nose? Let's go back into that one. See, it is the same shape, it is the same nose. See, if we cut and paste that nose and then superimpose that nose here, you will find out it is the same. But I can see it graphically because I work with graphics all the time, so I can see that. So that was Muhammadu Buhari on the sick bed in London, and that was the same man. You can see that was him, because that sickness ate straight onto him. And obviously you can still see the same cat bone frame that he wore, that he used, that was used for his official picture, the same cat bone frame. But look at him, look at how his skin completely deteriorated due to the bad health. Okay, now that was the same man. Okay, now let's go. You can see him here, from there to there, from here to there. And don't forget, here was just the beginning of that sickness. You can see, compare this picture and that, and here, that sickness was in full swing. It was in full swing. And that is the real Muhammadu Buhari. Let's go into the next slide. Okay. Now, look at this. That's him there. Now, you see him there? That's him there. Compare these two. Look at all these pictures. That's the same carbon frame. Now, you can see that perhaps you can see that. But let's go into the next slide. That was him. See, the question we ought to ask is how come? This is the big question and the big fraud. Somebody that was extremely ill here suddenly became this. Somebody who was this here. How come this man suddenly became this? It is the same carbon frame. Now, let's go back. This was the man on his sick bed when he was receiving treatment in London. That was him. So how come this man recuperated at such an alarming rate that he then looked like this? Even if we compare Robert Mugabe, who passed away at 95 recently, Robert Mugabe, who ruled Zimbabwe for 37 years, never had such a big transition because he aged gracefully. Robert Mugabe perhaps never had such a big leap in plastic surgery. Some people will say he's got money, but the question is, from this, had he not been confronted spiritually and health-wise, perhaps he probably would have aged gracefully, but because of the health issues. So how come somebody who was like this then suddenly became this overnight? That's him again. Let's look at that. So somebody, look, from a sickness like this, that's why I said deathbed to hero, immorality or fraud. This is the big fraud. And this is what they don't want Nigerians to see. So how come a man, Muhammadu Buhari, that looked like this suddenly became this Muhammadu Buhari here? There's a big questions that Nigerians ought to ask. The question is this picture that we are looking at here, is this the real Muhammadu Buhari or a fake Muhammadu Buhari? Is this from this picture this sickness, this old man, to that. From that, from this, you can see his face wrinkled, his neck wrinkled, everything wrinkled, his chin, everything wrinkled from here to there. Amazing. Again, let's look at another one. That's him. Again, that's another picture of him. From that, from that to that. Is this a fraud? From deathbed to hero. Immorality or fraud? You can see. You can see. Let's go into the next one. See, from here, you can see this. I'm just comparing all these pictures of him, and then again to this one. You can see National Intelligence Agency, NIA. Is this Muhammadu Buhari or somebody else? That's why I said we will go into the roots of certain issues here. And I did some stuff. Now, let's go into, see, you can see there are so many pictures of him here. Now, I did some stuff. I'm not too sure whether it was here or not. Yeah, I think it was here. I did some stuff and I asked Google, is Muhammadu Buhari fraud? Google came up and there were some very interesting questions and answer that Google provided. Google, people also ask these questions from Google, that how many wives does Buhari have? Personal life, in 1971, Buhari married his first wife, Sefinatu, which happens to be Miss Yusuf. So she was first lady when Buhari was the military junta, and they had 5 children together, 4 girls and 1 boy. Now, we know the story behind this, that subsequently Muhammadu Buhari's government was toppled by Babangida, and Buhari was under house arrest. So whilst Buhari was under house arrest, his first wife, Sefinat, was begging, pleading to Babangida to please release her husband. But Babangida perhaps was adamant because he knew that Muhammadu Buhari was a threat and refused. But then Muhammadu Buhari got to know that his wife, Sefinat, went to Babangida, and Buhari thought probably Babangida must have slept with Sefinat, and when subsequently Buhari was released, the first thing was he divorced his wife. Sefinat. Now, there was a particular question that I find extremely disturbing. And that particular question was in relations to, Aisha Babangida, Aisha Muhammadu Buhari. And from what I gathered, because Google was providing those, yes, I found it. How old was Aisha when she married? Okay, that was Prophet Muhammad. But I know for a fact that Buhari's wife, Aisha too, was married off to Muhammadu Buhari aged, I think, 16 or 18. Okay, you've seen that. From there to there, I'm just wondering, and in as much as I'm wondering, I'm equally sure you two, you are gobsmacked from that to that. Again, from this to that. Deathbed to hero. Okay, now I'm going to spin the camera around me and we probably will take the stuff. Now I'm going to spin it back this way. Let me settle the camera. Right. So the camera is back with me. I told you we will do it a bit differently today. I've got loads of people already putting their comments. See, Bolan Michael Babalola, you said he's a Muslim and entitled to marry as many wives. Let's forget his private life from this. Yes, that's why. That's his private life. Is his private life. You're right. I don't intend to dig into his private life. What I am particular about is the conduct as a public servant, and that is exactly what is open for scrutiny, whether they like it or not. It's got to be scrutinized. They can't go free. Let's see. Ndudi Ume, it seems people are watching and thinking about other things than what he's analyzing in live video here. Unbelievable. Nigerians, let us open our eyes and be honest to ourselves. If not, we're going to continue suffering from misrule, shackles of slavery, exploitation, and neo-colonialism in Nigerian amalgamation fraudulently created by British mercenary imperialist Frederick Lugard, criminal activity sent from India to create Nigeria, most wanted, wicked, monstrous. Yeah, we will probably expatiate more on that. You are right. There's no doubt about that. Yomi Crown, since the beginning of the marriage, he replied, Akimboye, Ademoju, it shows clearly that truth is not in us as Nigerians. Yomi Crown, He raped her actually when he came back from service. Sure, Sean Oguns, you said Aisha Buahari said it all. She did. There's a lot more coming out. Prince Kevin, you have it, sir. I can see it too. Yeah, you're right. Thank you. All those pictures. There's a picture we saw two people looked like Buhari. Oh, you're an atheist. Interesting. You don't have any religion. I respect your views. Bola Michael Babalala, he said, I still can understand your point. Are you saying he's dead or he's not the same Buhari? I think I will leave that for other people to judge. I'm not going to say anything. No word is coming out of me. We're just looking at slides, and I'm actually presenting facts for people to see. So it now depends on which side of the fence they want to perceive the information that's being handed down to them. It depends. People would be able to make their own judgment based on the slide. I won't decide for people. It's up to them to make up their mind. That is my job. I'm not going to decide. Well, you are just jumping into conclusion yourself. You see, you have decided yourself. I've not even made up that mind for you. That is the work of a thorough investigation. See, if two lawyers are in court in front of a judge, they'll argue their cases, and when one perhaps is not comfortable, they can raise an objection. Sean Oguns, we all know or confused about him already. Buhari is dead. That's the fact. You see, people are already Yomi Jibakran replied, Sean Oguns, scammers, all of you. I don't know what you mean by scammers. Afolabi Kilasho, you have no job. Go and find a better job. After all, you didn't vote for him. Interesting. Grace Emiogolo said, fake Buhari. Otumbalanre Okoya said, Da Vinci Code. Yomiji Bakran, could it have been an old pictures? It's good that people are making up their own mind. Prince Kevin, sir, your good point. Yomiji Bakran replied, Sean Oguns said, deceive yourself, nothing like that anywhere. Bola Michael Babalola said, sorry, I am missing the analysis. Are you saying it's not possible for him to have significantly recovered from his illness? I'm not saying that. Even if he recovered from his sickness significantly, I doubt if he'll be able to turn straight from a 75 or 76 or 78-year-old man to somebody looking more like a 45, 50-year-old man. You're just assuming, and I'm just presenting what I am seeing. Ntuti Ume, please guys, write comment about what is talking in this live video. Shanoguns, reply, Shanoguns, because they call them Christ-like. It takes 200 million to get that job done. What's the budget of that on serious scam? Sir, this is pure truth. Confirm this man is dead. It's the copy where we are saying. Everybody is right to form their own judgments or opinion. I'm not going to shape that judgment for you. I've only presented you guys with facts. And obviously, pictures that are already in public domain. That's exactly what we've done. I've not accused Muhammadu Buhari, but I've just presented facts to you all based on things, evidences that are already in public domain. All I did was to dig a little bit deeper and then upload some of them to buttress my argument. And that was why I had to tilt the camera 180 degrees so that you guys can see exactly what I was doing. That's the problem. We have Jesus Christ didn't care. A lot of people are talking about Jesus Christ here. Let's take it again from the bottom. Ola Univ, I'll start with your own comment. In my opinion, that's real. Buhari, that's real Buhari. He only looked different because of the drugs he used at the moment. You see that? Ola Univ. Desta J, Son of Grace. The man is not Buhari now. If it is if it is Buhari, let his wife file a case in international court. Stephanie Sinota Shore arrest was instigated by Tinubu and those two remote control. Yes, he was. Kokoro tó ń jẹ ẹ̀fọ́, ìdí ẹ̀fọ́ ló wà. Olayuni, Emeka of Okere Emeka replied you, Olayuni, the Queen of England can't use the name drugs to look younger. Look, Olayuni, somebody counter what you had to say here. To say that the Queen of England has got access to even better drugs than Muhammadu Buhari. So why can't she be prescribed the same drugs for her to look far more younger than her age, or the husband, Prince Philip, to do the same? That is a valid point that Emeka of Okere brought it. That's a different angle to it. I am in the medical field and just can't get this. Yeah, I know, because you are in the medical field, you are a psychiatric specialist, yes, but then and again, you can see somebody just replied to say, why is the Queen not taking it so that you look even much more younger than that, because she's got access to even to the best medical facilities? See, we're just debating here. We're trying to find the truth to the hashtag deathbed to hero, the agony of Nigeria, and hashtag crisis time. Ayo Olsav Michael, I guess many of us know the popular Nollywood actor Taiwo Hassan Aka Ogogo. He was very sick to death and narrowly escaped by divine intervention. Until now, it shows that he was sick in the past after several years of recovery. Your analysis was really close to the truth, because that man was sick to death, and going by his age, he couldn't have even looked younger, even if he recovered. So I think from wide speculations, Buhari is dead. We have an imposture ruling. Everybody's trying to figure out and then reach their own conclusion, make up their own mind, because I've just presented you. If I didn't present you with the slides to compare, because I've got Bola Michael Babalola, who is a psychiatrics expert and who is in the medical field, still believe that Muhammadu Buhari probably took some medication that made him look exceedingly younger. Maybe I should tilt the camera back again so that you guys can see it. Maybe if I tilt the camera back, let's do it, shall we? I'll tilt the camera back again, and I'm going to do it this way first. It's going to come near me, and I'll tilt it back this way. Yeah, you can see that. Let's look at that. See, deathbed to hero. That was him. Let's push it forward a bit. Yeah. Deathbed to hero. Immorality or fraud. That was his picture. You can see that. That was the real him. You can see wrinkled. So how come this man that looked like this suddenly looked this way? Does that make any sense at all to you? Does that make any sense? Let's look at this again. That was him on the sickbed that was smuggled. How come this man recovered so rapidly from here to here and looked like this? From there, that was him on the sickbed. There's no dispute. And that was him. That was his official picture. Already that sickness was eating onto him in this picture here. But here, when you are attacked spiritually, spiritual attack does not manifest and hit you once. Spiritual attack will be eating you up internally. Doctors will be unable to diagnose what is wrong with you. Every test they will conduct will be inconclusive. Perhaps Goodluck Ebele Jonathan never left powers voluntarily, and Goodluck Ebele Jonathan then created something spiritually that will make him uncomfortable, and he perhaps was not aware spiritually that he was under a spiritual attack that was already eating him up here. And by the time the full manifestation came into open, he then aged just like that. And from here, he even deteriorated. He deteriorated far more than this picture you are seeing. And this was how he ended up in London hospital. And from here, remember, members of the APC, even Bola Tinubu was unable to even see him. They were unable. So not until when the perfection was done. So this man that we saw his picture like this, then from there, from this to this. Yeah, and from this to this as well. You can easily say this to be, in fact, if a 50-year-old man perhaps doesn't even look like that. See, Muhammadu Buhari and Ibrahim Babangida are roughly the same age. They're roughly the same age, okay? They're roughly the same age. Okay, what I'm going to do now, look at this picture. Let's go. Let me Google. Let's go into images. Let's Google IBB latest pictures. Okay, we're going to Google IBB's latest picture. IBB and Babangida are roughly the same age, guys. And look at this is Babangida. Look at Babangida there. Okay, what I'm going to do is that I'm going to open up Photoshop. Let's open up Photoshop, and let's do this in Photoshop. So that's Ibrahim Babangida. Let's copy the image. Let's go back into Photoshop, file new. Now edit, paste. Edit, paste. Now we've got the picture of Babangida here, guys. Look at IBB. They are almost the same age. IBB has not done any plastic surgery, and you can tell, you can see that he's aged accordingly. And I know for a fact that IBB celebrated his 78th birthday recently. So compare this picture of Ibrahim Babangida IBB as opposed to this one of Muhammadu Buhari, who is the same age. That passes perfectly well. Because if we compare this picture with IBB's picture, you can see IBB. Now, yes, some people will say perhaps IBB has been down with stroke or something like that, and that his jaws fell. Yes, those are some of the things that are strongly associated with old age. But yes, he's got the money as well to take good care of himself. But then and again, IBB has never suffered that sickness that Muhammadu Buhari suffered, that really incapacitated him. And suddenly from there, he then became this. Now, compare that. This picture of Muhammadu Buhari, who is Babangida's age, to Babangida. Now, let's go back into the next one, this one. Yeah, this one. Now, look at that picture of Muhammadu Buhari, same age, or perhaps a year or two older than that one. I'm just thinking. And obviously, I think, yeah, even this picture, look at, I think this picture, yeah, look at this picture. Let's Google, I think that picture, yes, yeah, we can get a very good clearance here. Let's copy this picture of them. We were working from Google File, New, okay, edit, paste, okay. You see, look at the two of them here. Look at their boss in the middle. That's Muhammadu Buhari. That is Ibrahim Babangida. So how come that this same Muhammadu Buhari that looked like this, how many years ago? Yeah, this was when Goodluck Jonathan, I think this picture was taken during the Federal Executive Council meeting when they all met inside Asorok for the Federal Executive Council. And how come that this picture during Goodluck Jonathan's time, perhaps about, yeah, this was perhaps about 8 or 9 years ago, 9 years ago, right? 8, 9 years ago, this picture of Muhammadu Buhari like that, and now looking like this. And we've got the same Ibrahim Babangida here, now looking like that. I'm going to tilt the camera back again to face me. Yeah, and it's going to come that way. I think I have to move it away from the sun. Yeah, the sun is now reflecting. Yeah, let's do it this way. Yeah. That's it, guys. I hope I've been able to open up. These are facts. They are simply facts that I have presented to you all. They are. Let's take some comment and then we will round up. Kelvisman Garuba. This is a really serious matter. Nigeria should demand Buhari's DNA. It is serious. That's why I said, that is why I promised you guys that we are going to go deep. The sun's rays is attacking me here. So I think I am going to change the location of the camera to come this way. Guys, just forgive me. Okay, I'll do it this way. Okay, let me stand up. Maybe this will be better. Yeah. Yeah, it is better this way because I'm able to see everyone now. Yeah. It is serious. It is extremely serious. But because it is extremely serious, Nigerians, guys, are not asking questions. They are not just asking questions because I've just compared and I've opened up your eyes. Now, do me a favor. I want you to calculate. Let's do it this way. Let's do it this way. Olusegun Obasanjo happens to be both Muhammadu Buhari and Babangida's boss and a top general as well. Okay, let's do it this way because I seriously want to open you guys up. Now, Olusegun Obasanjo, let's quickly do a bit on him. So I'm going to use my tablet. Olusegun Obasanjo, let's go into Wikipedia. Olusegun Obasanjo Wikipedia. Let's get some information about Olusegun Obasanjo. Olusegun Obasanjo was born on the 5th of March, 1937. We want to do some sums. This is serious. I told you guys, we're going to dig really deep. Obasanjo was born on the 5th of March, 03, 1937. So let's check on Muhammadu Buhari. Muhammadu Buhari was born in 1942. 17 December 1712, 1942. Okay? What is the age difference between, okay, let's do Ibrahim Babangida as well. Ibrahim Babangida. I'm getting all this information from Wikipedia. Ibrahim Babangida was born 17th August 1941. 1707 1941. See, Babangida is even older than Muhammadu Buhari. Did you hear that? IBB was born in 1941 and Buhari was born in 1942. Did you get that? Now, what is the age difference? So if IBB is older than Muhammadu Buhari with a year, okay, let's look at it this way. 1712, 1942. Muhammadu Buhari was born in December, the 17th day of December 1942. So ideally, Babangida was born August. August 1941. So we have just a couple of months, just differences in year. But we term that to be a year's difference between the two. So, but what about the age difference between Obasanjo, Babangida, and Muhammadu Buhari? So, 1942, Buhari was born. 1942 minus 1937, that Obasanjo was born. So between OBJ and Muhammadu Buhari, there is a 5-year gap. We're talking about 5 years between their most superior officer. So that means between Obasanjo and Babangida, there is a 4-year gap. And between Muhammadu Buhari, 5 years gap. So how come? We've just compared their ages. We're analyzing things here, guys. It is serious analysis and it is serious business. Because Nigerians, they don't see things the way I see things. They don't reason the way I reason. That's why I promised you all, I am going to open up your eyes into seeing things that you were unable to see. That's why I get into trouble, and that's why people don't like me. They hate me, and I know I've got a lot of enemies and hatred out there. See, 5 years. Let's turn the camera around again. This is serious. We turn it again around. We turn it around. And you will see it again. That is the current picture of Ibrahim Babangida. That is him. That is Babangida currently. That is Muhammadu Buhari. So, 2019 minus 1942. This is the picture of a 77-year-old man. And this is the picture of a 78-year-old man. And this same man, this was his picture in 2015 when he took ill. Deathbed to hero is this immorality or fraud. We're talking about the big fraud. See, it's terrible. Let's go into page 1. Let me take you into page 1. See, I said the different faces of a tyrant and military dictator who assumed to be a democrat in a cursed nation, the agony of Nigeria in crisis. Now, earlier on, I looked into the fact that I told people to underscore the words immorality or fraud. And I did a screen dump. Don't ask, look, you won't know how I got this because I've got some of those sophisticated software, publishing software. So dictionary.com told us that immorality, it could be a noun or a plural. Immoral quality, character or conduct, wickedness, evilness. Now, the second option is sexual misconduct, and I told you guys from the beginning to replace that sexual misconduct with political misconduct, an immoral act. So immorality is grounded with immoral, right? So now let's go into immoral. What is immoral? The same dictionary.com then confirmed to us that immoral is an adjective, okay, violating moral principles, not conforming to the patterns of conduct usually accepted or established as consistent with principles of personal and social ethics. So, moral principles. So, do they really have any moral principles in your political setup, knowing fully well that there is a lot of problems along the line in which a man on a sick bed that was at the point of death here, who perhaps probably died, and who looked like this before. That was the official picture that we were made, that was taken, that was released before his health deteriorated to a state that they don't really want members of the public, not even the wife Aisha, was able to see the husband. But that was a picture of him that was smuggled out from the sickbed into public domain, taken on a very, very low-res camera. You can see low-res. I actually re-manipulated the image to give you a better feel like this. I resampled the image so that from the very low res I was able to get, I resampled it to a bigger screen. So what I did literally was to create more resolution when this was eventually blown up. And that's why you are able to see that without any pixels. So this man this man, who perhaps if we compare this picture of him with his colleague, looked very much like the real thing. You can see that. Muhammadu Buhari, Ibrahim Babangida, those two pictures tells the real age of these guys. So how come this man that looked like this suddenly became this one? Guys, and that is the 77-year-old man. That picture you are looking at is a 77-year-old Muhammadu Buhari who can compare. This is a 78-year-old Ibrahim Babangida, and that is 77-year-old Muhammadu Buhari. This is serious. I told you we are going to go deep, very, very deep. And I'm going to open up your eyes into seeing things that you were unable to see before. Okay, I'm going to spin this. This is serious. I've been off air for some time, but most of you perhaps don't know exactly what I might. Yeah, let me put this back this way. That was the picture of a 77-year-old Muhammadu Buhari that you've just seen. Let's take some comments. We'll take some comment. Yes, Emeka Ofokaire, you reply, Jonathan. Will you believe if he shows you? Bukola Udufadeni Olusoya, your comment just came in, so I'll take it. I know Nnamdi Kanu is brilliant. I agree with his theory. Hashtag Jubril. Ugochukwu Uwizu. You know they talk. Jonathan Rojaye, you said yes. I'll take Lizzie Azu's comment. Let me quickly go right up. Too many comments here. I don't even know where to start and where to stop. Okay, let me take it from the bottom. It is serious. See, Paul Ogama, even the so-called leaders knows, but they don't want Nigeria to break because they know the consequences which will befall upon them. They all know. Fake Buhari, fake president, Paul Weiss. I'm seeing loads of new people. Desmond Ike Capitally Ezeka, impossible to be Buhari. Lizzie Azu Godson Azu's wife. Yeah, Lizzie, this information is not for the faint-hearted. Many don't possess the third eye to see beyond. That's a clever one, Lizzie. Many don't. Ugochukwu. Emeka of Cairo, will you believe if he shows you? Jonathan Rojaye, we need the proof of death certificate, not pictures. Do I say to you that Muhammadu Buhari died? See, you all are just forming your own personal opinion. I've not said to you Muhammadu Buhari died. I only hashtag deathbed to hero. There is a clear distinction between somebody who is on a deathbed and then suddenly becoming a hero to some people, because Muhammadu Buhari, whether he's real or fake, is still a hero to many of those people, to Bola Ahmed Tinubu, to Rotimi Amechi. They know. All of them knows exactly what is behind the closet in Asorok, but they can't talk. I've not suggested it. I'm not saying that Buhari died. I only said deathbed to hero. And I proved to you lot. He was on a deathbed. And they cannot dispute the fact that Muhammadu Buhari was not on the deathbed. He was not on a death row, but on a deathbed. They can't disprove that. And I've not convinced all of you that I've not said anything that he died. I'm just digging deeper rather than widening the scope. You guys are the ones widening the whole environment. I've only decided to dig deep and deeper. And if you remember, I told you, because we are going to go deep. Now, each and every one are now interpreting exactly my slides and my presentation to the way you can individually take my message, because it's like I am the decoder. I'm sending out decoded message to you lot, and I am the encoder. I am sending encoded message to you, and you receiving this message at the other end have to decode my message. And in the process of some of you trying to decode my messages, you find there's a little bit of noise and distortion. Shannon and Weaver's model of communications spelled that out, the noise in between transmission of information between an encoder and a decoder. That's exactly what's happening. I've only showed you guys the slides. I've not proclaimed that Muhammadu Buhari died. Everyone is assuming that, is he dead? Is he this? Is he that? No, I've not made mention of that. You guys are just making up your mind based on some of the facts that you are being presented with that are even available online. A lot of people are really commenting this time, and I'll take everything. Paul Ugama, God will bless you for coming out to say the truth, which millions of Nigerians are afraid to say. I'm not afraid of anyone. Bukola Odufadeni Olusoya is watching from the west coast of the United States. She's one of my very regular viewers. You are doing well, sir. So says Bukola Odufadeni. Don't mind the ones that don't get it. We get it. Jonathan Rojaye, please, let's stop all this and find the way to unite Nigeria. Wilson Paul, is there anything to be done over these allegations? Because the world are not saying anything. Trump knows. Trump knows. Theresa May, the former Prime Minister, is aware. She was briefed. I'm pretty sure that Boris Johnson has been briefed. Angela Merkel knows. All the world leaders, they know, but they have to keep it. Keep what was behind closed doors at the corridors of power in Nigeria top secret. They know. They are killing Nigerians, they're doing all sorts of things. And you've got a president who is not talking. And you've got a president who claimed to be a Nigerian. And bandits, they call them bandits, but they're terrorists. Continue to terrorize, maim, kill, kidnap. And he wasn't talking. And you think it's normal. It's not normal. A lot of people are flying. See, I can be extremely mean and dangerous. I can't be. I've been away from the social media for a while because I was confronted with something that was eating deep inside me. But I kept abreast because despite the fact that I was not there, I still continued to go through all my social activities and information handling. Those that I'm able to reply, I'll reply. Those that I'm unable to reply, I'll just keep myself to myself. They all know. All the world leaders, they know. See, this same person that he's a figure. And obviously a 77-year-old. See, where do they get that man from? Is what Nigerians should ask. That is not the true picture of a 77-year-old man. He's not a celebrity. He's not Lionel Richie. It's not Diana Ross. It's not Stevie Wonder. These are people, and they've been accustomed, this super mega stars that I mentioned their names: Elizabeth Taylor, Michael Jackson. They've been at the forefront of cosmetic surgery. And because they've done it, the whole world, they've kept tap of the pattern at which they modify their bodies under the scalpel. Maxwell Aniako. Nigeria is not working. It died in the year 1966. Yes, we all know that. I honestly think we should dig further into this matter Oh, well, that's up to Nigerians. And you think they will dig further? No. Epoma Vicky Ake. This is like Felix Dadis, the double daddy of Joseph Stalin in the 1940s. I know and believe Buhari is dead. It's so obvious, but Nigerians love to pretend and ignore the truth. That is up to them. Curtis Morgan, Mumuman, Biafra Bo Agbara. Biafra Bo Agbara, I love that one. We Biafra know Buhari is dead. We Biafrans are 7 steps ahead of them. Buhari is dead. The cabals are just manipulating the poor masses. I was surprised. Former British Prime Minister Theresa May visited her in Asorok. That was a very clever one. Not only that, Prince Charles and Camilla Parker Bowles equally did. That's why I said what goes on behind closed doors in Asorok will be revealed one day, but they can't do it now. But now, Michael Babalola, your analysis has revealed it all. That is imposed and not the real PNB. No, I'm only presenting this because had I not presented this slide the way you guys are really taking it in now, you will still dispute the fact that we're having the same person. I'm not saying, look, everybody is just forming their own. Look, all of you, you're forming you're wrapping up your own individual opinion. You're now beginning to see beyond what you guys were unable to see, and what some are able to see. You see, if you want to take the world head on, you have to take the world with facts. You don't assume. You present facts. See, I cannot come up with, if I'm a scientist, I cannot just come up with a theory and accept many other scientists to accept the theory that I probably conceived. It will be prone to scrutiny. It will be prone to tough research. I've just presented the case and compare. And you saw the real Ibrahim Babangida, who's not done any plastic surgery, and you were able to see the picture of both Muhammadu Buhari, Ibrahim Babangida, and Obasanjo during the Federal Executive Council, which, not that I made up, but they're all online in Google. I Googled everything in front of you, and we went through everything. So how come that same Muhammadu Buhari with Obasanjo and Babangida some 9-10 years ago during Federal Executive Council meeting is far more younger now than that Muhammadu Buhari of the 10 years ago? And how come Babangida that took the same picture looked his age, and suddenly Muhammadu Buhari, who is a year younger, in fact, months younger than Ibrahim Babangida. Look, Muhammadu Buhari was born in 17th December 1942. Babangida was born 17th August 1941. Months difference. Nigerians ought to reason. Nigerians should open up their eyes properly to scrutinize things and then look at things differently. August, months. Uba Abi. Osayomo, King Brave. Thank you. You said you reply, Emeka Ofakairi, you reply, Jonathan, let's start from finding out who is in Asorok first before unity. They won't allow you to do that. Prince Kevin, Trump knows that. Yeah. Trump knows, yes. Andy, good luck. What do you think is the agreement between UK and Nigeria for Westminster leaders to close their mouth? Andy, good luck. Let me reply you to that. They have to, you see, Westminster had to shut their mouth because if any trouble should break up in Nigeria today, two countries in the world will pick up the remnant of that problem in Nigeria, the United Kingdom and the United States. And that's why these two countries, they tread very carefully when it comes to the issue of Nigeria, because the UK budget is already stretched. If any problems should creep up in Nigeria today, Nigeria is second home to Nigerians outside Nigeria, and the UK will probably receive well in millions of Nigerians that will seek asylum. Because there are 2 million Nigerians, all Nigerians will have to do is just get their people, send money to their people. And because Nigeria is already a war torn, the moment people should land, look, people, they won't even bother going to Germany. They are coming to the UK. They are coming straight to the UK. So UK will be their first destination, then America. So they have to shut their mouth and allow that nonsense to continue to happen in that country. I've got loads of comments. Yomin Jibakram. But why? Simple. Give it to other tribes to rule, and then it comes around to you again. Why all this scammer stuff? They won't. I know exactly what you're trying to say there, Yomi Jibakram. See, the northern oligarch, the Fulanese, they are scared of the Yorubas because It was during their own turn, Umaru Yar'Adua, that they lost theirs in office. The same thing happened now. And power is always coming back to the sound. And that's why. I'll tell you something that went on behind closed doors that a lot of people don't know. And I'll tell you honestly now, because not many people are privileged enough to that classified information behind closed doors. See, prior to the 2019 general elections, when people went to Obasanjo to plead on behalf of Atiku Abubakar, for Obasanjo to forgive Atiku Abubakar. And when everything was done, pastors, imam, everybody, some Yoruba leaders of thoughts, when Obasanjo subsequently agreed, the power brokers, the northern oligarch, they knew exactly what was behind closed doors. They were fighting. And because they were fighting, Obasanjo made it known to the northern oligarch that they should just come up with somebody within them. So the issue of that north and south rotation means Nigeria is not a country. They don't. So they, within people, Aminu Tambuwa was contesting, but eventually all of them had to step down for Atiku because he had more financial power, far more than the rest of them. There's a lot behind closed doors, guys. There are other comments flowing in fast. Emeka Ofakaire, you replied, Andy. They all know, bro, it's a task to keep Nigeria together because Nnamdi Kanu has leaked the secret. Please listen to this man. He's very intelligent and has brilliantly exposed a lot like Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Nigerians, do your research. Hashtag start researching. Atiku knows, yes. Kade Stephen Ojetunde, you replying, Jonathan, what right thing you want him to go and do? And the good luck. Do you think Atiku and PDP members knows about it? Atiku knows. Bukola Saraki knows. Even Bola Tinubu himself knows. They are playing with you guys. They are playing on your intelligence. They know. Everyone knows. All the power brokers, they know. But they won't tell you. Frank Williams Anthony, sir, for doing great work to educate the gullible crowd in Nigeria who did not know that the man in Asorok is not Buahari. All right, guys, I've just really given you guys a taste. Yeah, Ekoma Vikake, yes. Rochas Okorochas, he knows. You remember Rochas Okorochas made it known that he will expose the impostor in Asorok. They all know. Oh, Ekoma Vic Ake, you are in Canada. Ah, nice. Look, guys, if you've just had, some of you who probably tune in for the first time, you've just had a taste of my it's hotter than this. It's usually hot. It's not for the faint-hearted. Click the following button, and anytime I come on, Facebook will automatically alert you. You see, I already dressed up, ready to go to work this morning, but I thought to myself, if I have to, because I'm still using the courtesy car, and I don't really want to do this show in the car because I wanted to project this on a slide and, prove a point to you guys, which I have done. I wouldn't have been able to do this in the car if not the comfort of this place. Yes, you see, we screw up things here in this forum, and it's not really for the faint-hearted because we dig deep into serious issues and we don't spare people. Look, guys, you can share this podcast. It's got to be spread. A lot of people perhaps don't know, but because I've presented it as a slide for you guys to see. So share it around. Perhaps you might be able to open up and then enlighten other people into seeing things the way you have seen it today. Not many people are aware of the fraud. Epoma Vic Ake, but you obviously can't protest in Nigeria because it's treason to them. Yes, it is. That's why. See, Omoyele Sowore, who was campaigning for social revolution, they termed it as an overthrow of government. But you see, the real Muhammadu Buhari, not the impostor that you have, campaigned before 2015 against Goodluck Ebele Jonathan for a revolution. But it was okay then, but not okay now. Yes, I'm an Oduduwa man. Epoma Vikake. I'm an Oduduwa man. And I have a lot of Biafran friends. And when we meet, we greet ourselves, we salute ourselves. Hey, Biafran man. Hey, Oduduwa man. Yeah, I'm a very proud conservative Yoruba man. I'm not going to lie to you. I met a client who said, oh, what's your country? What nationality are you? I said, I'm from Oduduwa Republic. He said, I've never heard of that. I said, yes. Oduduwa Republic has been in existence for a long time, but it was an amalgamation. I hope I have been able to open up your eyes today. It's been my pleasure to come live to you. I hope you have enjoyed it. It's eye-opening. It's breathtaking. See, I have a friend, Bola Michael Babalola, who perhaps still can't see the way I was seeing things, and he thought I deliberately wanted to bring down Muhammadu Buhari, but I told him I campaigned for the real Muhammadu Buhari in 2015. See, that man was attacked spiritually. That man was a paper. Spiritually, I am even far more superior than Muhammadu Buhari. Muhammadu Buhari was a paper. And anybody who wants to sit on the throne in Nigeria has to be solid spiritually. Because like it or not, you wrestle with principalities, unseen things that exist in the spiritual realm. See, I want to tell you another story. I'm not too sure whether some of you read the memoir of the late Alhaji Shehu Shagari, a book titled Shehu Shagari, that was his autobiography. And I think of all your presidents in Nigeria, Shehu Shagari was the only one that really wrote a book about his life and his time in office. No other president, no other, none have accounted for their time in office. And in that same book, somebody nicked the book from me, although I nicked the book from somebody else, from my brother-in-law, Jide Adams. And because I nicked it, he lent it to me. And after I finished reading the book, somebody else nicked the book from me, and I never saw that book anymore. See, Shehu Shagari made it known in that book that the Yorubas are so powerful spiritually that when he was in Dodan Barracks, to Ribadu Road, they changed that to Ribadu Road later on from Dodan Barracks, because that was the official seat of government before Babangida moved it to Abuja after the Oka coup. So Shagari pointed out that the Yorubas are so powerful spiritually that as he will be going through all the files that he needed to attend to in the middle of the night at home, Nigerians will fly and meet him in his study through the wall. They'll come with their files. They'll come through the wall and meet him. So how do they get through that wall to get to Shehu Shagari in his study? And they'll just present their files to Shehu Shagari to sign. And because they penetrated through the wall, Shehu Shagari will quickly sign their paperwork. It was documented in that book. But not many Nigerians even read Shehu Shagari's book. Not many. The Yorubas are so powerful spiritually. You see, I watched another clip on social media, a guy who went to the National Stadium and then placed a pink paper, cut through it, and he promised he was going to go through the wall and then back. Pasted it on the wall, long. And after the sheet was pasted with its small tiny little hole, so the guy was able to dip his hand. He said certain things. An Igbo guy said certain things, and his hands started penetrating through the walls of the National Stadium in Surulere. And then he subsequently lifted a leg like that, and then he went straight through the wall. He showed his face and then came out again through the wall. So Muhammadu Buhari probably thought that was the period of the military when he was in power. Even with the military, yes, he never stayed for such a long time as a military junta before Babangida subsequently toppled. But the man was not Buhari. The real Buhari was a paper spiritually. I knew it will happen. I knew they will attack him. And I knew that Goodluck Ebele Jonathan wasn't going to leave Asorok without leaving something behind. Obasanjo never left Asorok without leaving something behind. They will leave a mark. They will leave something that anybody who is coming in to stay there, you either pay with your life or your wife will die eventually. Stella died in Asorok. All of them, they do. People still continue to leave. Guys, exactly 2.5 hours of breathtaking presentation with facts and everything. I can see Amina Olayinka just tuned in. You might have to watch this again because there's a lot of revelation in there. Ojemba Okodu, keep up exposing the lies and enlightenment. We need more of you, sir. You have to click following. There's a lot more. I've done a lot of expose. Maybe you want to go back through some of my shows. Coyote Stephen Ojetunde, you reply, Akinleye, no APC guys will believe anything against Buhari because they are more attached to that party. Same way the PDP people believe in their party. Yeah, they do. But whether they believed in APC or not, they're only there because of what they want to gain. If they can't get anything, then they'll leave. If PDP are not getting anything within their own party structure, they leave for the APC. Political prostitution. Okonkwo Ubiadim, you reply, Akinleye, because of your soul blind, and you will remain blind. Keep on asking for proof. Oshabai, Daddy King, thanks for the enlightenment. Thank you too. No, you don't open anyone's eyes because you're not telling them what's really going on. You're still putting them in darkness because not many people knows cloning do really happening among the elite. Epomanvik, okay. The idea of us breaking will help us all. Big question. Guys, let me seize this opportunity to thank you. It's been a pleasure coming live and direct to you. We'll do it again because this is the only platform where we screw up things. We'll do it again. And until next time, look, take good care of yourselves, and I wish you God's guidance and blessings. I hope you have a good time this weekend. Enjoy yourselves, and we'll do it again sometime. So take good care of yourselves, and God bless you. Goodbye.